Western Spring Television. Ours it is.
And football's biggest competition, the FIFA World Cup, is still on, and massive results are coming in from Qatar, where the competition is being held at the moment. A public holiday are declared in Saudi Arabia. What a win they had against Argentina. And of course, we're waiting for another upset to see if other countries will be declaring holidays. But massive celebrations still going in. As a matter of fact, they share the same border, and a section of Saudi Arabia has been closed, has been shut down, and people are still partying. And that's what it means when it comes to the biggest competition, the FIFA World Cup. My name is Joseph Atewe, and welcome to Western Spring Television. It is Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. And on the show this morning, aside the World Cup, Cristiano Ronaldo says he's done and dusted with Manchester United.
And I am Nengi Ernest, aka the Sports Amazon. You're also welcome to Morning Spring, that is Sports Spring on Western Spring Television. Good morning once again. Aside from that, I can give you an update and I can tell you that just 3 days into the World Cup, we have massive things happening. We have record-breaking things happening. We have fascinating things happening. Take a look at Poland, yesterday's game that was played between Poland and the rest of the counterparts. I mean, look at the likes of Robert Lewandowski. Now, people are questioning, is that a cause? I mean, this man missed up a penalty yesterday. Aside from that, let's take a look at the fact that France, which is the current World Cup holders, are ready and set to be able to defend this one, even till the end of this particular World Cup. Anyways, aside from that, we're going to be diving into the world of the NBA. Of course, Brooklyn Nets, Philadelphia 76ers, and the likes had games yesterday, and we're going to see more games coming up. And aside that, we're going to bounce into the local scene also, talking about the NPFL, talking about the National Sports Festival. Good morning once again.
Well, of course, it means there's a lot lined up for you guys on the show this morning. And then let's start with the World Cup. You spoke about Poland and Lewandowski.
Yes, of course.
I think it's the cause. I agree with you. Poland making history. They have never won an opening game, and they've managed to score just one goal, and that continued yesterday. We'll come back to that. But then the public holiday in Saudi Arabia, winning against Argentina is a big deal.
Well, I must tell you, I must confess, I mean, it's a very big deal for Saudi Arabia. I think they've won just once in the entire World Cup, and I think it's a very good one. It's a very nice one for them to start their campaign.
Won 4 times.
4 times,
but
of
they've
course.
never progressed. And so maybe this win will give them an edge going into,
of course, and more confidence and motivation going into the next round of matches. And precisely, I mean, there were 2, I think, if I'm not mistaken, about 2 goals, from the Saudi Arabia end. And, you needed to see the way that the fans celebrated immediately after the match. I mean, it was something massive for them. Do you know what it takes to beat?
We'll get that visual very soon.
Yes,
the
of
fans
course.
are celebrating because it was massive celebration for public holiday. To be called says a lot about them. But then, where did Argentina get it wrong?
Well, most definitely. I mean, do you know what it takes for you to have an average person in height, like the likes of Lionel Messi on that pitch, and something of that sort, got on. Now, I felt like Argentina would have gotten a hold of that, judging from the fact that they were able to have a penalty, which was taken by Lionel Messi. I felt like once that penalty was taken...
They scored 4 goals in the first half. For example, Lionel Messi converted from the spot. Lautaro Martinez missed from the spot. There was a goal scored by Lautaro Martinez, cancelled. Lionel Messi scored, cancelled, offside. I think the Argentines killed
now.
themselves.
Okay, so now do we now talk about the consistency of VAR in football matches? Because we're meant to understand the fact that between the match of Denmark and Tunisia, there were some inconsistent things that were done by VAR. I mean, in the last minute.
It still has to do with the referee's discretion. Whatever the referees believe is right to do. See, sometimes it's very close to call what you get. For example, attacking you from the back naturally should be a yellow card automatically. My 2 boots raised up. A straight red card, you're the last man. But sometimes...
But then a referee might decide to, change that.
Also matters,
And most definitely, I don't think that, just like the first match we saw with the officiating of Daniel Osrato, I think that's one very disciplined man on the pitch. I mean, very, very brutal. But I think that's something that every other officiating referee needs to take charge of, needs to take means of. Now, we cannot question the consistency of VAR in this particular one.
But let's not take away the shine.
Yes, of course.
Saudi Arabia. Can you see? I'm just right now watching the celebration, massive celebration going on in Saudi Arabia. They did not win the World Cup.
They just won one match, their opening campaign against Argentina.
I'm waiting for more public holidays. And maybe that might happen against Brazil. That might happen against...
You think so?
I was waiting for Australia yesterday. I thought, we're going to have another upset. Australia scored the first goal.
Yeah.
I thought,
definitely
Melbourne,
this one is...
party.
You know, I'm like, yesterday I told you, Joseph, at the point I'm like, if anything, whatever matches that are to be played, I think I'll completely sit on the fence because we're seeing so many fascinating things happening right now. The likes of Saudi Arabia. You know, yesterday I gave an analysis and I likened Saudi Arabia to be like Qatar, you know, hoping that, you know, Lionel Messi's Argentina will be able to beat them black and blue. But most definitely, it was a turn. You know, football is filled up with twists and turns, and that was what we saw yesterday.
In other results, Mexico played out a goalless draw with Poland. And of course, as we told you, more like a cost because Poland has made history. They've never won a single game in the opening match of the FIFA World Cup. And of course, Denmark, Tunisia also ended goalless. And let's talk about vibrant Tunisian side. Started like a house on fire, kept momentum going.
Yes, of course.
Proved to Denmark that we are here to stay. We want to win the competition. We saw the game together. And of course, in the first minute, when a defender kicked the ball, I think to the corner, and
to the corner, yes. And you know, the likes of Christian Eriksen was smiling, you know, giving him.
But then holding Denmark to a goalless draw, what does it mean for Tunisia as an African team?
You know, over the time past, I think African teams have been able to increase in terms of developing themselves, in terms of developing players and all of that. So I think that is what is getting to play out in this World Cup. I mean, everybody's here set and ready to go. I mean, it doesn't matter how big your country is. It doesn't matter how many stars you have in your squad. It doesn't matter your depth. But these people, even as small as Iran, they were out there pushing to be able to make sure that they get something going on the pitch. But everyone is fighting. But you know, Joseph, let's talk about Robert Lewandowski now. It's meant to say that in the 2018 World Cup, I think he missed a goal, and which made Poland finish bottom of the group with 3 points. That was the one they held in Russia. That was 2018. And now, yesterday, he also missed. So, you know, there are questions arising that, is this a cause? I mean, because if you were the one...
Like, it's the same thing we are saying about Benfica, if it's a cause, because for Benfica, I think they've gotten to 4 or 5 finals of major competitions and failed to win. So it's a jinx, I believe, and it's not a cause. So these things happen in football. We spoke about Lewandowski, and we know how good Lewandowski can be. Yeah. So, yes, playing from the sports, they would have thought. They would have thought. But then it's more like a cost, just as I said. Never won a single game at the opening of a World Cup.
But, you know, I think at this point, we would not want to blame our Super Eagles manager in person of Jose Peseiro for defending Emmanuel Dennis after missing that penalty. You know, he asked a rhetorical question. He said, between Mexico and Poland.
Crucial games. The game between Portugal, we had other players. Emmanuel Dennis is not a penalty taker. There were other options, but refused to drop the ball, which I believe cost Nigeria.
Okay.
For Poland,
it was something different.
So we still, anybody can miss penalty. Remember the 2008 final of the UEFA Champions League?
Yes, of course.
Anybody can miss a penalty. And of course, the other game, France versus Australia. You spoke about the defending champions. Australia took the lead, but then France came back banging the goals. Olivier Giroud equaling Thierry Henry's record of 51 goals, highest goal scorer for France. Massive results, massive goal for France.
You know, at this point, the both of us, I think we watched a clip yesterday on when the France coach and manager, DJ, was trying to talk about the fact that his squad is complete. Let's not mind the fact that we have the absent Christopher Nkunku, we have the likes of Karim Benzema absent in that one.
These guys have players.
You get. So when he came out saying that, I was tempted not to believe. I was tempted to have doubts, you know, of them, judging from the fact that we've seen surprising facts, surprising goals from the likes of Saudi Arabia, from the likes of Ecuador. You understand that fact. So I was tempted to want to doubt him and say, oh, this squad, I do not really think that they can be able to do something very fascinating on the pitch. But most definitely, they had that one rolling, and I think it's a good start for them because this is going to give them more confidence boost and overall in top to be able to get on their next match and pounce on whosoever is their next challenge.
It is still football biggest competition, the FIFA World Cup. It is on. Matches are currently going down. Lots of matches have been played yesterday, and since the competition started on Sunday, and the party will continue today. 11 a.m. we'll see Morocco versus Croatia, another African team. And of course, what will the Japanese team be able to do against one of the world's biggest team in Germany? We're going to quick and give you highlights for matches played yesterday. We'll be back.
Confidence and expectation, so...
in their regular season. Honey is another that is missing this World Cup due to injury. Saudi Arabia for their first good look at it. Al Shari with me.
To this opportunity, a little bit of a touch that finds Al Shari to put Romero into that far post and ties this game up with a little bit of a deflect.
His 9th international goal.
None of their team know that they're here for support. It's getting loud, and
that's a wake-up call too for Argentina as that foul is called up and get back control.
Well, you do that starting out.
Argentina on that ball. Push forward and
do something special. As we take a look here, it's just that little touch that put and tie this game up. We're getting back to having a superstar like that because he accepts that and should want that.
Right. Can you say momentum? That was a slip that was costly there.
Here on the field, Wilhelmy tries to get back into it and it goes off of him for the corner.
Push forward. But you don't see a fear there. And I think that's helped them to manage this.
Being aggressive in that center part of the field.
They're giving right back. Shot. Oh, it's blocked over here. Shot taken. Go!
When you take a look here, the first shot gets deflected by gets a little bit of a space and then just drives this one to just the fingertips, but not enough. And Saudi Arabia.
I can remember Argentina in an opening discussed it. And so, you know, all we could say was at the time.
Practically, it's working out for Saudi Arabia in this second half. Do you stick with it and out?
Argentina poking it ahead. Maybe a game tire here, but it's Saka. And Bukai lost it there. It's maybe a double switch coming. Ball played in instead of the back heel flick by Messi blocked. 3 players over near the 4th official. Off the deflection. They need to do something here. Get this better side right now.
They're the more aggressive team. They're on the front. The battle that happens between players, it's the second one where that ball lands.
This will probably give you a sense of who Scaloni is not happy with. We'll let the research people figure out where this one ranks, right?
Yeah.
A lot of games to think about. Still a lot of time left. We're not even at the hour mark. One magic moment ago could turn it around. It should be a foul. Was disallowed for offside earlier.
Yeah, you can see that there's a lot of grabbing. We make that call. You see Lautaro Martinez maybe early on in the second half. It has to be frustrating for a lot of the players.
And on the line, their last loss, Copa America semis. Not the last Copa America, scored first.
Well, your statements just say how much is on the line here.
Alois will just hold it.
And look at this, JP, where we wing down and having Argentina be the one to have to chase and seem a little...
looking for more. Goal. Launching it long off the left foot.
All right, welcome back to the show. You saw the beautiful highlights, Saudi Arabia and Argentina, and that's the reason why public holiday is currently going on in Saudi Arabia. Don't forget, you can follow us on our social media handles, our Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Western Spring Television. You can watch us live on YouTube at Western Spring Television. Don't forget, matches are still on or will be played today in the FIFA World Cup. Germany, Japan, Spain, Costa Rica, Morocco, Croatia, and Belgium versus Canada. And then I'm looking at Morocco versus Croatia. I'm expecting an African team to at least cause an upset again.
Yeah.
Morocco, Croatia, last year's last finalists. I think the finalists in 2018 are losing to France 4-2. It ended in that game.
Well, most definitely, I do feel that there's definitely going to be an upset in these particular games to be played today. Not just the one between Croatia and Japan, not just that, but I mean the rest of it. Currently, I told you before, I'm going to sit on the fence, comfortably on the fence, so that whatever happens, we can just fly down the other side. But most definitely, I am, before the World Cup, we were talking about the likes of the mascot that was used in person of Lahib. That's the name of the mascot, Lahib, and it means the skillful player, and that is what we are seeing play on the pitch today. So no matter the country, no matter the size, no matter the squad, I believe definitely they must push and fight on that pitch. Moving away from that, I think let's talk about the England captain, Harry Kane. Yes, of course.
Is he injured?
Yes, and he's going to have a scan today, precisely before their Friday match against the USA.
Will be playing.
Yes. And he sustained an early blow, I think, in the second half of that game, and he was also replaced with Callum Wilson. And I think, that's not going to be any problem. But let's see and hear the updates of the scan thereafter today. And let's hope that we're going to be seeing him in the USA match on Friday.
We'll wait and see if we see him against the United States. A huge blow if he misses out. Let's move away from the World Cup. And there's a breaking news once again on Sky Sports. It says the Glazers are open to selling Manchester United, and the club is valued around £5 billion. That's the breaking news coming in on Sky Sports. Glazers open to selling Manchester United. And if you want to buy Manchester United, which I believe Nengi can, it's sold for £5 billion.
£5 billion. Let's refer this back. I think the sales of club these days is something to talk about. Now we have the likes of Liverpool put on sale, I think, if I'm not mistaken, early part of the month. And then currently, when we come to local football, we have Ondo State putting out Sunshine Queens, if I'm not mistaken.
Our Sunshine Stars,
definitely on sale. So I think if you have the money, I think you can be able to get one, Joseph.
£5 billion. £5 billion. I should buy a whole country like Cote d'Ivoire.
You should.
Maybe
Zambia. Money.
All right, let's talk about the National Sports Festival. What do we have, Nengi?
Yes, of course. The National Sports Festival is to be held on the 28th of this month. I think it's a very massive one from our country, Nigeria. And, the last one was held in 2022 when Edo State was able to host that one. And I think it's a very nice one. Despite the rise in COVID that year, it was a very nice one. And we saw the infrastructures. We saw everything turn out smoothly and how to be played, And presently, the 2022 NSF, that's the National Sports Festival, do not forget that, this has suffered so many postponements. It was supposed to be held earlier this month, but most definitely the infrastructures were not ready. And currently, we have the likes of Ibrahim Gusa. We also have the likes of the Minister of Sports and Youth Affairs in person of Sunday Diary, going to inspect those infrastructure and, plainly telling us that, okay, it is ready and there will be no more postponement. But let's talk about the Niger State athletes. And let's not also forget about the fact that, Joseph, the torch of unity for the National Sports Festival was also here in Osun State.
I was handed over to the governor.
Yes, of course.
I want to talk about the National Sports Festival. The beauty of the National Sports Festival is to catch these talents, get them young.
Of course.
And like we're seeing on our screen, some of those stars that we discovered in time past, the likes of Divine Odudu, and a lot of them. So
most of
having
them.
National Sports Festival has really helped some athletes.
Yeah.
As I say, sports is an escape route for a lot of Nigerians, considering the economy.
Yeah.
If I know how to play football, I know how to run, it's an escape route. So this is why the National Sports Festival, athletes on the local scene, athletes who are trying to make a name for themselves on the global stage, take these things to art. And that is why the organizers will have to give us
all the best, yes.
And good competition.
And this is coming from the Niger State Commissioner for Sport. He's already telling the athletes and giving them a warning out there to stay clear of drugs. I mean, drugs that can be used to enhance their performances. And aside from that, I think that's a very good warning to be able to give to these athletes. I mean, this almost cost us a gold in Birmingham this year, owing to the fact that I think a negative sample or a positive sample was taken from one of our athletes in Nigeria in person of Grace, and we are hoping that the next sample actually comes out negative. But let's leave that aside. And ahead of the forthcoming National Sports Festival that is scheduled to take place in Asaba. Now, the Niger State Ministry, the Niger State Commissioner of Sport, is actually trying to advise these young athletes to stay away from drug. Of course, Joseph, you know the causes, you know how these things can be able to spoil a career. Let's take, for example, in case study, what's her name? Okagbare Blessing. For 10 years, I mean, that's a ban for a lifetime. I mean, your career has hit the rock.
Blessing is above 30, so 10 years, that's 40.
That's 40. How will you come back?
It'll come back and win title.
So it's more like
not
the end possible.
But then, you know, they don't deliberately take these drugs, and
sometimes
it's what they eat. The substances you find in their foods, and but that's why we say be extra careful, because sometimes you know, you take these things and it costs you. I remember Justin Gatlin. I loved Justin Gatlin. I loved the way he runs, and there are a lot of them. Yuan Blake, these guys, and we have incidents like this, you know, cost them their career. I understand.
So, and you know, let's talk about Toby Amusan. I mean, this person is somebody that is clear of drugs. Now we can use her as an example to say no to drugs whenever it comes to athletics, whenever it comes to sports as a whole. I mean, hard work and consistency can take you as far as ever that you need. So let's jump off that one from the National Sports Festival. Let's talk about the preseason friendly that is currently going on for the NPFL.
And the preseason friendly, of course, it seems we'll have a date, but that won't be disclosed as the IMC saying that they won't disclose the date, but then we are starting the league this year.
Yes, most definitely.
So what's happening with the preseason friendly? I know some interesting matches
are taking place. Most definitely. Then that match was between Rangers and the difficult Lobby Stars, and that's an NPFL preseason game. I mean, Joseph, what's your thought on this one? Because you can't just stay there, because there is no date scheduled yet for the resumption of the league.
I believe
so you can't stay there.
To be honest, I'm a very blunt person. I believe the Nigerian Professional Football League is a joke, and I think you take away the P. Nothing professional about it. I can tell you the dates and the time that the league is not yet ended because of the World Cup that's on pause. Some of the big leagues, even the South African league, when they will start and end. And of course, we have a league that is not even functioning well. And someone is telling us we don't even they will not disclose the dates when the league will resume. So I think the Nigerian Professional Football League is a joke. It's just a plain example of the country and how it looks like.
But you know, I feel, in my own perspective and my own opinion, I feel that the players do not want to wait on that calling or the date to be released. I feel like they're getting ready ahead of the NPFL.
See, we like to coin this thing, preparation. Check the preparation. What kind of preparation is that? It's still the home must-win syndrome. We like to pretend to ourselves. Look at what we have in Nigeria. Is that a league? That's not the league.
Well, you know, let's dive into the IMC. That's the Interim Management Committee and the league commencement. You know, for now, they said there is no particular date for now. But let's look forward to it.
Why
and the NFF.
No, we are not looking forward to
let's
Professional league not have a date. Well, that's a $1 billion question.
No, yes, most definitely. It speaks more about the league.
It's the same question we've been asking.
It speaks about the disorganization of the league.
Of course, and let's just
let's talk about NFF. I mean, the NFF president in person of Ibrahim Gusau, he was trying to talk about the performance of our clubs at the continental level. Now, we know that we had a very massive blow, and we know that the likes of Rivers United are trying for us at the CAF Confederation Cup. Now, aside from that, this man, Ibrahim Gusau, is trying to tell us that our performance is so far is poor. Now, take a look at the stats. I think Enyimba won the CAF Champions League in 2003 and 2004, and Shooting Stars way back in 1992. Joseph, I wasn't even born then. Aside from these two teams,
you weren't born
1992.
You weren't born in 1992.
Anyways, that's on the line. Let's move on. So, I mean, what you have to talk about the performances so far from the clubs down in Nigeria to the continental level.
It says a lot as well, too, because I'm wondering if Nigeria takes on Burkina Faso, for example, national team, they are nowhere near.
Which of the national team? Is it the Super Eagles?
The Super Eagles now. You expect the Super Eagles to...
We have people like Cape Verde coming from the back.
Of recent. You expect Nigeria to defeat them. But then when it comes to club level, you find teams from Burkina Faso defeat, say, Enugu Rangers or some of the clubs are from Nigeria. That is because our league is not well organized. Players are not being paid well. you pay a player 60,000 per month. Even the 60,000 is not coming in well. So I still have nothing positive to say about it.
You know, I still have something positive to say about the Nigerian Women Football League, because that is one of the most organized leagues we have here in Nigeria. Talking about the MPFL, it's going to be a whole lot of story for another day. But right now, let's move further to Ronaldo. Joseph.
We'll go on a quick break here. Let's watch some of the best moments of Cristiano Ronaldo. Goals he scored when he returned. And of course, where the all cracked down. A quick commercial break. We'll be back.
Greenwood had a pop. Woodman spilled it, and guess who's there? Close your eyes, and he never went away. We're going to play in Ronaldo. It is Ronaldo. It's 2-1 United. The theatre lives its dream. Its fantasy hero retreads the boards.
Sancho in the middle, and there at the far post was Cristiano Ronaldo to find the back of the net before Van Bommels could get the ball away.
Just now they're able to recycle it back in from Fernandes again. Cristiano Ronaldo taps it in. Manchester United back on level terms. Fred. Ronaldo down towards Lingard. Ronaldo! Ronaldo! Oh, big landmark night with a goal of priceless quality.
10 minutes to go. Shaw into Ronaldo! Cristiano Ronaldo in the Champions League again for Manchester United. You cannot keep this man down in this Manchester United League 3-2. And who else but CR7?
Fernandes looking for Ronaldo! United need a big result. One of the big hitters delivers. Who just looked up and saw Hugo Lloris a long way off his line. He thought better of it. Cavani is playing in though. Edison Cavani. Manchester United lead by 2 goals to 0. An excellent Saturday after a dismal Sunday. Manchester United will feel that this is a result that will more than paper over the cracks. The cracks.
High up the field, it's Ronaldo with a chip. He still reigns in Spain. Cristiano Ronaldo with a massive goal. Rasha playing it in. There it is. Few, if any, more renowned. None more prolific. Ronaldo hits 800. Will we ever see the like again? Never in doubt. $800 becomes 801 in the blink of an eye.
Ronaldo with his penalty fires it in, and Manchester United get their breakthrough.
And Ronaldo waiting. McTominay trying his luck. 1-0 Manchester United. On a night where you sense the first.
All right, welcome back to the show. Hope you enjoyed those beautiful visuals. Cristiano Ronaldo says he's done and dusted with Manchester United, and United also released a statement saying they will let Ronaldo go on mutual consent. It means that Manchester United will be saving 16 million, I beg your pardon, 16 million pounds, releasing Cristiano Ronaldo. And of course, according to Sky Sports, there's a huge relief at Old Trafford The mood is good at the moment. The Glazers family are willing to sell the club. United wants to stand strong in the Premier League once again and conquer the world when it comes to football, Nengi.
Well, most definitely. I think this has been going on for quite a while now. Let's take a look from the start, from the roots and from the depth of the matter. Now, when Ronaldo was to come, he was to come to... I think there was a particular point when Manchester United was going down, and I think that was last season. But, you know, the fans, the managers, everyone was just beating on the fact that, from their former glory, forward. And, they were thinking that they were going to absolutely make it right when Ronaldo comes back. Now,
but we saw
the various sacks of people like, what's his name? There was a particular Ralf Rangnick. Aside from that, I think there's somebody who came before Ralf Rangnick. The name is keeping my mind, but most definitely I'm going to remember that one. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, yes. Aside from that, we saw that Manchester United as a club was demeaning so much down. Aside from him, we had Ralf Rangnick, that's a Gegenpressing master, who was playing a sort of rabbit formation on the pitch, 4-4-4-4, and sort of things like that. Now, let's get away from that. Ronaldo came in just as a savior for the team. Now, when they got into Erik ten Hag's contract, and this question was asked.
But Nengi, let's face it, was Ronaldo a distraction? I believe it was a distraction.
Well, I believe
because
that
for players of that caliber of Ronaldo, granting such an interview at this trying times of Manchester United was totally wrong. Do you think Ronaldo has been a distraction at Manchester United? Because I believe without Ronaldo, they would have gone far.
Well, we're going to come to that now. What was asked from Erik ten Hag was, can you be able to cope with what's his name again? Ronaldo. Now, let's not forget about the fact that before then, Ronaldo wanted out. Just that the clubs that were coming in wasn't what he was interested in. And most of the clubs were like, I mean, this person is very huge amount for their clubs.
500,000 pounds per week.
You get. So now, Erik ten Hag, in his words, say that he is ready to add Ronaldo into his plan. And now we saw that play out for some weeks and some matches now. There are some times that you won't have Ronaldo on that squad, then Manchester United is going to do well. So I feel that's where your perspective is from when it comes to you saying that Ronaldo tends to be a sort of distraction for them, because we've seen matches play out and Ronaldo is on the bench, most definitely squeezing his face. Aside from that, but then the team itself, they do well. Now let's forget about that and let's talk about what he did at this moment. Fine, we may agree about the fact that this might not be the right moment for granting such an interview. But just like you would say, Joseph, I mean, this man has always wanted to be sacked. And probably he didn't know the mature way or proper way to go about it other than granting that interview, bust that things up.
Okay, I think first of all, Ronaldo came back to Manchester United courtesy of the intervention of, what's the name of Sir Alex Ferguson? Unexpected more from Manchester United, but came in. I mean, saw what was on ground. He even spoke about the swimming pool and the gym. Yeah, he wasn't really impressed with.
But did you see that?
I think Ronaldo likes to win. He likes to win, and it's difficult for Ronaldo to come to terms that his glittering career is coming to an end.
Gradually coming to an end.
It's coming to an end, just like Lionel Messi. So I think what's next for Ronaldo? The Sky Sport, the BBC are reporting that it might be moving to Inter Miami, and that's the club of David Beckham.
Well, you know about this particular moving to another club now. We had, I think, was a particular gossip or rumor, if I may say, that he was going to move back to his boyhood club. That's in Sporting Lisbon, something like that.
Yeah, but Sporting Lisbon has also debunked that. They don't want Ronaldo at this point. He's not coming back anytime soon. And, still trying to build that name, Inter Miami, still trying to make it popular. And the caliber of players to bring no matter what. For Inter Miami, David Beckham is a well-known name in sport.
A well-known name,
bringing Cristiano Ronaldo to the United States, 6-month contracts, if he did sign after the World Cup, would be a good boost for the club in the United States of America.
But let's talk about David Beckham. Can he be able to handle Ronaldo as a person, aside from on the pitch?
Ronaldo being the owner, have coaches. See, it's different from what you have in the Premier League, the Spanish La Liga, the top 5 leagues. For leagues like the United States, for leagues in Japan, for leagues in China, they want to be known. So they have to do everything right.
They have to bring a big name.
Cristiano Ronaldo,
it's going to bolster that
every
up.
single game. That's what they're doing.
Well, most definitely, I feel like at this point, we've been waiting for this to happen. We've been waiting to hear from Manchester United as a team, from the manager's aspect and all of that. But most definitely, I was in the opinion of them, taking their time, because you made mention of this, Joseph. Now, let's take, for example, Ronaldo does well in the World Cup. What would now be the fate of Manchester United? We talked about it from the perspective also. And aside from that,
I think for now, for Manchester United, it's not the.
They've made a decision.
If he likes, he win the entire World
Cup. Yeah,
he wins 20. He scores 52 goals. It's about the mood. It's about the attitude. At
Yes,
the club.
about
it's
the
about
attitude.
The confusion it brings to the
Yes.
table. So that has gone past Manchester United right now. They just want peace. At
You know,
Old Trafford.
aside from that, now Joseph, let's drag attention to the fact that Ronaldo was able to mention some of the things concerning Old Trafford. Now, talking about the equipment, talking about the infrastructure, he said nothing has changed. Don't you think that's one format he has used to expose Manchester United as a club?
Well, of course, he did to an extent. You see, sometimes you have to be professional.
Yeah.
You know, so you have to be professional at what you do. It wasn't professional granting that interview, but he said the truth.
Yeah, he said the truth.
Saying the truth, and there are rules. Do you understand? Thank God for rules and regulations. Right now, I want to take off this jacket and take everything right to stay here and probably just pop some champagne, but I can't because I'm sure somebody's watching and I'm sad. So thank God for rules and regulations. And the manner at which he did it was not professional. But what he said was the truth. And I think United will go back to the drawing board.
Yeah.
They
have to go back to the drawing board
so that they don't have such confusion. So Ronaldo paid the ultimate price.
Now, you know, I mean, something has to happen for, you know, other teams to, you know, get into precedence. Now, let's talk about very big and massive in the World Cup. I think we should talk about that. You know, there's this particular rule that's been given by FIFA concerning officiating, refereeing, and all of that. Now, it doesn't matter how many minutes you want to spend wasting the time in a football match. It will be added.
If you like, stroll out of the pitch. We'll add the time.
So we'll add the time. I mean, yesterday we saw the match between I think is it Denmark and Tunisia?
Yeah.
Yes, of course. I think 16 minutes at that time.
You know, normally what you have at the Premier League is 5 minutes extra
5 minutes, yes, extra time.
You have a player from maybe Arsenal sleep on the floor, holding his leg. This time, if you like, change your clothes on the pitch.
There's no problem. I mean, something must be there added time to balance everything up. And you know, I think, did you think that where everything is balanced up? Yes, for that fact, we know that fact. And nobody's going to complain that, oh, we actually had no added time to, you know, be able to play this one.
Okay.
Now let's talk about the injuries in the World Cup. Now, we've seen in the match between, I think, was it England and Iran? There was a head collision that happened, and they had to take the keeper, if I am not mistaken, the keeper out of the pitch. Now, we saw same thing play out in Senegalese and the Senegal and Netherlands match, where somebody, I can't really see what happened there because I don't even know the proper words to put it, but that was a serious thing that happened by Delight.
I think Martin Delight, I think this is something they'll have to work on. And just as they released a statement about the organizers of the World Cup, they released a statement saying these are some things they're looking at at the moment. Just because of time, we'll have more time to talk about the World Cup tomorrow, but then let's switch gears and talk fast cars and talk Formula One here, Nengi. What do we have in Formula One? China not hosting the Formula One this year?
Well, most definitely, let's take this from the root. I like taking things from the root and very background of it. So to enable everybody to have a proper understanding of this. Now,
like
the last time matters, issues arising, controversial issues from the roots.
Like to kneel down to take it from
the foundation. Joseph, please stop that.
I like that.
Let's go.
It's good.
That was on a lighter note, Joseph. And aside from that, now the very last time that Chinese were able to hold a Grand Prix was in 2019. Now, dating back, we had some Grand Prix there in 2017. That was when Hamilton won in that one. Also in 2018, we had a Grand Prix in the Chinese part of the world. Now, let's take it now. This is Formula One, and we're looking forward. Formula One as a whole is looking forward to taking the Grand Prix back to China. But most definitely, I think the Chinese people are also having these problems with COVID-19. And if I must confess this.
You know, the multiple lockdowns you have in Wuhan, the multiple lockdowns you have in Wuhan, even where the entire world was free, they still had some cities locked down. And of course, it says a lot how huge the COVID-19 really affected those guys. So if Formula One is not going to be held in China, we understand perfectly why it won't be held in China.
And you know, the Formula One that was supposed to be held in China next year in 2023 was supposed to be the fourth race in 2023 in the season of April. But right now, they're talking about the fact that they have the strict rules concerning it. And aside from that, officials, staffs might be detained if at all they are diagnosed of this particular one, which might not be very good for Formula One. So definitely, I think reducing it now from 2023 races, it's now going to be 22 races for the 2023 season for the Formula One.
All right, let's go on a quick break right now and give you highlights from some of the best of races we had in 2017. Talking Formula One. When we also come back, the Suns and the Lakers when it comes to basketball, we'll be back.
It's
Mercedes get away very well indeed, tentative from Carlos Sainz, but Hamilton goes into the lead. Now we're looking to Sebastian Vettel and Valtteri Bottas. Vettel gets into the first turn just ahead of the Mercedes. It's Hamilton who leads from Vettel. Ricardo pressurizes Kimi Raikkonen as well, and Sebastian Vettel just eases ahead of Valtteri Bottas, and then almost takes out Kimi Raikkonen, who loses a place to Daniel Ricciardo. Is the Williams of Lance Stroll going off and onto the gravel.
Right rear damage as well, right rear tyre.
And Lance Stroll is finally allowed to get out of his Williams car. His race is done. And the virtual safety car is coming out.
Yeah, it has to be. The car's in it's in the firing line if you go off in that corner.
As you can see, that wasn't his fault.
Fair old thump there, didn't he?
Got hit out of the race.
Sebastian Vettel pits for the soft tyres, the dry, soft tyres. So organised chaos here in the pits.
Let's see a replay of the start here. No action warranted, as you say, for Sebastian Vettel, Martin. He is now down in 6th place and has lost out hugely in these opening exchanges. Max Verstappen from the start.
He almost had no revs on there. Like a video game, isn't it?
Yeah.
To get out of the throttle while he momentarily couldn't see where he was going.
Oh, and there is a major incident once again involving Antonio Giovinazzi, who crashed in qualifying, and he has crashed quite heavily on lap 4 of this Chinese Grand Prix. The safety car will now be deployed. A huge amount of debris over the track, and Giovinazzi has had a weekend in Shanghai to forget.
He's turned out to be rather expensive, hasn't he?
Oh dear. And as soon as he put his foot down, Martin, you got the feeling he was a bit of a passenger there.
I still can't get a feel for which is the right tyre. And Ricciardo then is going to change.
So they're taking those inters offset. He's gone down to 12th place, Paul, Valtteri Bottas. So from running right up at the sharp end, that moment where he's gone off the track has cost him a huge amount of places.
Green flag.
So the safety car will peel off into the pits, and now we'll see if those tyres are up to temperature, and we'll see what the drivers can do. Massive roar from the crowd as we get racing again. Hamilton heads down towards turn 1 ahead of Daniel Ricciardo, Kimi Raikkonen and Max Verstappen. 2 Red Bulls now in the top 4. Sebastian Vettel is 5th after starting on the front row. Then comes Fernando Alonso from McLaren. Behind him comes Carlos Sainz, Danny Kvyat, and then Felipe Massa under pressure. As down the inside goes Sergio Perez. Bold move from the Mexican, and it hasn't quite come off, because Massa has the better line going through turn 2. Now Perez will fight him back again, and the place switched and then switched again as Sergio Perez moves that Force India up into 9th place and ahead of Felipe Massa, and now he can get up to Danny Kvyat, and he got a great exit, didn't he, out of turn 4. Perez is away and now up to 8.
Super impressed with Perez there as Verstappen then goes around the outside of Kimi Raikkonen. Here he's on the march again. With the vortices boiling off the rear
There
wing.
goes Verstappen down the inside on Daniel Ricciardo into turn 6. He's made up yet another place. And that is...
For the city of China, of course, we're missing that beautiful race, and that race we just saw was 2017, and hopefully it happens next year. That's Formula 1. We have less than 5 minutes to leave, and we'll not talk about basketball. Before the break, we talk about the Suns and the Lakers, and then what do we have? The Eastern Western Conference. Is it looking good for the Suns?
Well, most definitely it is looking good for the Suns, but definitely not looking good for some of the teams. And these are the results of yesterday's games. Brooklyn Nets took on Philadelphia 76ers, and it was Philadelphia 76ers that got that one rolling 115-106. Aside from that, we had the likes of Sacramento Kings doing it and slugging it out with Memphis Grizzlies, and it was Sacramento Kings that got that one 113-109. Moving forward to Detroit Pistons and Denver Nuggets 110-108. And LA Lakers, I mean, our dearly beloved LA Lakers, who have been struggling right from the last season up till this season, and we're hoping and looking forward to the fact that they might be able to do this one very well. Anyways, they got to a loss yesterday against the Phoenix Suns, 115-105. Aside from that,
I don't know if our producer, of course, will be getting those videos. There were some beautiful shots from that game. And most of the game between the Suns and the Lakers. The Brooklyn Nets also played I mean, beautiful shots coming in from the Lakers.
Most definitely.
Massive
Beautiful one
from this guy. But talking about the number 2, I can't remember his name right now, but then a massive player there.
All right, so let's take a look at the fixtures for today, which will be played at the early hours of the morning today. We'll talk about the likes of Portland Trail Blazers taking on Cleveland Cavaliers, Dallas Mavericks taking on Boston Celtics, my dearly beloved Boston Celtics. I mean, this is one of the teams that has been doing so good when it comes to the world of the NBA. Aside from that, we'll also be seeing Brooklyn Nets taking on Toronto Raptors, LA Clippers taking on Golden State Warriors, Steph Curry's Golden State Warriors. And currently on the standings for the NBA, I mean, we have so much teams struggling with that one, but definitely for the Eastern Conference, I mean, we have something to write home about, as Boston Celtics definitely is still on top of the Eastern Conference, followed up by Milwaukee Bucks and Cleveland Cavaliers. The last 5 for the Eastern Conference will be Chicago Bulls, Miami Heat, Orlando Magic, yes, Charlotte Hornets, and of course, Detroit Pistons. Now let's dive in.
Miami Heat's fan right now. Are they winning the title?
Well, they're 12th on the Eastern Conference.
All right, so they're 5 away.
The heat is blowing them down. But let's take. I mean, definitely, we do hope to see some of these teams that are at bottom, definitely bouncing back up. In the Western Conference, we have Phoenix Suns, heating up the Western Conference, and they're on top of the table, followed up with Utah Jazz, Sacramento Kings. And let's get down to the last 5. We have the likes of Golden State Warriors. I mean, these are the defending champions. I wonder what we were doing 11th on the table. I mean, that's not something to write home about. But definitely, Oklahoma City Thunder follows them. San Antonio Spurs, the LA Lakers. We are hoping they bounce back because they have a lot of fans, Joseph.
We can talk, go on.
And go on.
Just before we go, is that all on basketball? We need to run rather.
Most definitely. I think we've had this coming to play up in sports, and we have rape allegations here and there and all of that. But now let's talk about the high-profile NBA trainer in person of Rob McClagan, arrested on a rape charge in Boston. And now he has nothing to do with the Boston Celtics team, although because they have come out to give their own side of the story. But I mean, this person, he's a very high profile trainer. He has trained the likes of Steph Curry.
I wonder why these things happens, why you forcefully have this with women. We've seen it destroy so many careers.
So many
Benjamin
careers.
Mendy.
Yeah.
Mason Greenwood. There's this guy.
Concerning Benjamin Mendy, I think there is an update on that one, and I think his case will be on November 2023, and hopefully seeing that he won't be proved guilty and all of that. But most definitely, this is something. I mean, why do you have this reoccurring even when they know that this can come to an end?
And of course, what is currently showing on your screen is Brooklyn Nets and the Philadelphia's. I love that. I mean, the court, beautiful, and this is something we hope.
Beautiful players.
The beautiful players as well.
We have Kyrie Irving.
The Brooklyn Nets and the Phoenix Suns and the Philadelphia's, a big part.
Yeah,
Philadelphia's. Are they faring well this season?
Well, most definitely Brooklyn Nets. I mean, it's nothing to write home about presently, but then hoping that they would bounce back. I mean, their talisman, one of their talisman in person of Kyrie Irving actually got the highest score in yesterday's game. So we're just hoping and looking how the season for the NBA is going to pan out to be.
Nagy, we have to leave.
We have to leave.
Thanks for being a part. We have to go.
And most definitely, you can reach us on all social media platforms at Western Spring Television. You can watch us live on YouTube, Western Spring Television also.
All right, thanks for being a part of DFV. Of course, just as I said, follow us on all our social media handles, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, Western Spring Television. You can watch us live on YouTube, Western Spring Television. My name is Joseph Atem. I must say thank you, and thank you for being a part of the show, my co-host.
Of course.
And of course, don't forget, big games to expect this morning, starting by 11 a.m. in one of football's biggest competition. It's the FIFA World Cup. On Twitter, it is at Atewe Joseph. My name is Joseph Atewe once again. Enjoy the rest of your day.
And I am Nengi Enes. Same thing.
Bye-bye.
With the